Greetings, beautiful people. Posting this announcement at the end of the week instead of the beginning of the week, but hopefully you read my short announcement on Monday and you've been reading all about adulthood. There are 3 chapters in your course textbook dedicated to exploring the changes that you go through as an adult, and it starts with a discussion of emerging adulthood and then moves into early and middle adulthood. So cognitive changes, physical changes, and social and emotional changes. So definitely, if you haven't already read those chapters, read the chapters. There's also a module dedicated to adulthood, and I've included several videos for you to watch, as well as PowerPoint slideshows that you can review. And you'll notice that the assignments that would have been due this week have been moved forward to next week. So this week you can basically focus on reading and watching and getting it all in, and then next week you can actually do the assignments. A couple of things I'm going to do in this short video. I'm going to read you all a story, and I'm going to hope that you will follow along and answer the questions at the end. And then I'm going to remind you all about the group project. Okay, so this is titled Aftermath, and I usually would do this face-to-face with you all, but because we're online, you're going to have to bear with me. When Professor Bishop returned midterm exams, he said, "In 20 years of teaching math, I've never seen such low scores. Can anyone tell me what the problem is?" He ran his hand through his graying hair and waited. No one spoke. "Don't you people even care how you do?" Students fiddled with their papers. They looked out the window. No one spoke. Finally, Professor Bishop said, "Okay, Scott, we'll start with you. What's going on? You got a 35 on the test. Did you even study?" Scott, 18, mumbled, "Yeah, I studied, but I just don't understand math." Other students in the class nodded their heads. One student muttered, "Amen, brother." Professor Bishop looked around the classroom. "How about you, Elena? You didn't even show up for the test." Elena, 31, sighed. "I'm sorry, but I have a lot of other things besides this class to worry about. My job keeps changing my schedule. I broke a tooth last week. My roommate won't pay me the money she owes me. My car broke down. And I haven't even been able to find my math book for 3 weeks. I think my boyfriend hid it. If one more thing goes wrong in my life, I'm gonna scream." Professor Bishop shook his head slowly back and forth. "Well, that's quite a story. What about the rest of you?" Silence reigned for a full minute. Suddenly, Michael, 23, stood up and snarled, "You're a damn joke. You can't teach. You want to blame the problem on us? Well, I've had it. I'm dropping this stupid course. You can't teach and you want to blame the problem on us? I'm out of here. I'm filing a grievance. You better start looking for a new job, buddy." He stormed out the room, slamming the door behind him. "Okay, I can see this isn't going anywhere productive," Professor Bishop said. "I want you all to go home and think about why you're doing so poorly. And don't come back until you're prepared to answer the question honestly." He picked up his books and left the room. Elena checked her watch and then dashed out the room. She still had time to catch her favorite soap opera in the student lounge. An hour later, Michael was sitting alone in the cafeteria when his classmates, Scott and Kia, joined him. Scott said, "Geez, Michael, you really went off on Bishop. You're not really going to drop his class, are you?" "Already did," Michael snapped as his classmate sat down. "I went right from the class to the registrar's office. I'm out of there." "I might as well drop the class myself," Kia thought. Ever since she was denied entrance into the nursing program, she'd been too sad to do her homework. Familiar tears blurred her vision. Scott said, "I don't know what it is about math. I study for hours, but when I get to the test, I get so freaked, it's like I've never studied at all. My mind just goes blank." Thinking about math, Scott started craving something to eat. Where do you file a grievance against a professor around here anyway? Michael asked. I have no idea, Scott said. What? Kia answered. Michael stood up and stomped off to file a grievance. Scott went to buy some french fries, and Kia put her head down on the cafeteria table and tried to swallow the burning sensation in her throat. Okay, so the characters in this story were Professor Bishop, Michael, Scott, Kia, and Elena. I want you to think about these characters, and I want you to ask yourself who dealt with the situation most effectively. What did the characters do right? What did they do wrong? And then I want you to imagine why I decided to share this story with you. What's the point? What message am I trying to get across, or am I implying? Now, because this is, a video and not an in-class exercise, I'm not going to have a chance to share, one-on-one dialogue, but you're welcome to include some dialogue in the comments, and your fellow class members are free to chime in. What I will say is that I know that we have a group project coming up, and we also have an individual paper that's coming up. And some of you maybe feel that you're frustrated or you're confused. Well, I want to give you a bit of advice. First of all, there's no reason to be confused because there's 2 modules dedicated to these assignments. One module includes information about the group project with lots of helpful tips and links to other sources. And the other module is dedicated to the paper. Okay? In both the group project and the paper, you're essentially doing the same thing. You're doing something that you'll do in most college classes. You have a topic, you research the topic with reliable sources, you synthesize the information that you gathered, and you analyze it, and you produce a final product. The final product in the terms of the paper is an APA style paper where you tell me what you learned, what you found out. And in the case of the group project, it's basically you're sharing your ideas with the class. Now, if you need help, I am available during office hours, Monday through Friday. We can set up a Zoom call to talk with one another, or you can email me and I'll be happy to email you back. If you have a question that's something that the entire class would benefit from, I would appreciate if you post it in the questions thread, because you'd be surprised that others might be having that same question. And if you post it in the questions thread, it can answer, it can help not only you out, but your fellow class members too. Okay, that's pretty much all I have to say. I'm thinking I might schedule a quick Zoom call, like live synchronous with everyone sometime next week or the following week. And I'll put an announcement out for us to vote on to decide when that's going to happen. But in the meantime, you have your agenda for weeks 11 and 12, and I'll see you on the discussion boards.